Welcome to a new lesson. In this lesson, we'll be representing relations. Before we do that, let's talk about a couple of definitions. A set is a collection of distinct objects. Example, a set of color has blue, red, and green separate elements in it. A specific notation, set notation of specific brackets are used. An element of a set is one object in a set. For example, green is an element in the set of colors. The third and last definition, a relation associates the elements of one set with the elements of another set. For example, there are two sets that you see. There are blue, the first set is color, blue, red, and green. And the other set are objects, such as rose and sky. Now, the way that we associate these elements is that we know the sky is blue, so we're going to have an arrow pointing from blue to the sky. We also know that the rose, some roses are red, and some roses are green. And this is called the arrow diagrams for our relation. Let's use these definitions to answer the following example. Northern communities can be associated with the territories they are in. Consider the relation representing by this table. So let's take a look at the table. We have communities such as Hay River, Iqaluit, Nanisivik, Old Crow, Whitehorse, and Yellowknife, and they're located in territories of Northwest Territory, Nunavut, and Yukon. The first thing we're going to do is describe this relation in words. The relation describes communities located in specific territories. In Part B, we'll represent this relation as a set of ordered pairs. An ordered pair associates the specific elements of one set to the specific elements of another. In this case, we have two sets. We have communities and we have territories. Notice that Hay River is located in Northwest Territory. That's an element or an ordered pair. So let's write it down. We're going to start a little set notation and bracket. So we have Hay River, comma, and Northwest Territory. This is our first ordered pair. The second ordered pair is Iqaluit and Nunavut. Bracket, and Nunavut. It's located in the Nunavut territory. And we're going to continue on writing this associate ordered pairs for the community and the territory it is located in. So now I've written down all the ordered pairs and finishing with a specific parenthesis. Now, it is sometimes difficult to organize the ordered pairs. So often enough, we draw an arrow diagram to demonstrate the relationship between these two sets. So let's do that. So now we have two sets, but notice that these two sets do not necessarily match what we have in a table. And the reason why they don't match is because we have repeats. We have two repeats of Yukon, we have two repeats of Nunavut, and two repeats of Northwest Territory. So we're not going to have any repeating elements in our two sets. We're not finished with the arrow diagram because we have to show association. Because Hay River is located in Northwest Territory, we have to show an arrow identifying that. And because Yellowknife is also located in Northwest Territory, we have to show an arrow as well. And I'm going to use different colored arrows to demonstrate the relationship between Nunavut, Yukon, Northwest Territories, and the cities or communities that are present in those territories. So Iqaluit is in Nunavut. So is Nanisivik. And the last one is Old Crow is in Yukon. And Whitehorse also is in Yukon. And this is the first example of arrow diagram. Let's take a look at a different example. In this example, we have a bar graph. Different breeds of dogs can be associated with their mean heights. That means average height. Consider the relation represented by this graph. Represent the relation as a table and then as an arrow diagram. So what are we really representing? Let's take a look at the graph. In the x-axis, that means in the horizontal axis, we have the names of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 breeds of dogs. While on the y-axis, so we'll just call it the x and the y. Right now it's not important that you know what this is, but later on it will be. On the y-axis, we have specific values. Now, specific values of the average heights of these dogs. For example, the Afghan Hound is somewhere between 60 and 80, and we have to decipher what number is associated with that bar graph. What does the bar graph read? Well, we know that 70 is right there, and it's somewhere halfway between 7 and 80. So therefore, the mean height is about 75. The Chihuahua is about 20. The Corgi is about 30. The Golden Retriever is 60. The German Shepherd is, again, 60. And the Malamute is about 65. That's in all centimeters. So now we have two sets of information. We have the name of the breed and the mean height in it. So again, we have now the name of the breed, that's one set, and the height of the average breed. So two sets, numbers and the names. Sorry if I repeated myself. So let's use a table. So Afghan Hound is 75 centimeters average, and Chihuahua is 20, Corgi is 30, Golden Retriever 60, German Shepherd 60, and Malamute is about 65. And they're all in centimeters, so we're going to put centimeters right there. And this is your table. Now we're going to represent this as an arrow diagram. So we're going to redraw the names of the dogs, but since there are numbers for averages that are common, such as the 60, we are going to just have 160 for the set for the mean heights. So here's the first set of dogs, and now we have height of 20, height of 30, height of 60, height of 65, and a height of 75. And now we're going to link the Afghan with its height, which is 75, the Chihuahua with 20, the Corgi with 30, Golden Retriever with 60, and so is the German Shepherd, and the Malamute with 65. And that's your arrow diagram. Let's take a look at one more question. So in this diagram, we're going to describe the relation in words, and then we're going to list two ordered pairs that belong to this relation. Let's take a look at this picture. Western Canadian cities is within 1 hour driving distance of a Western Canadian cities. Both sets in relation can be the same. So we're going to describe this in words. That means two Canadian cities, two Western Canadian cities are within 1 hour of driving distance. Now for part B, we need to list a couple ordered pairs that shows that these are two cities within driving distance. And then you may look at this map, or if you look, you may have some personal experience with this question. Since we live in Edmonton, and St. Albert is within a 1 hour driving from Edmonton, we know that the first cities is Edmonton, and the other city that is within 1 hour driving from Edmonton is St. Albert. That's one example. Edmonton and St. Albert are also considered western cities because they're in the Alberta, and Alberta is a western province. Another example, if you are from BC, Kelowna in BC is within, a 1 hour, or Vernon. It's about a half an hour driving time between these two cities. And BC is a western province, and therefore it does work out for our order pairs.